my name is Nadia Harris, and I'm the founder of remoteworkadvocate.com, the go-to place for companies and individuals who are willing to thrive in the era of flexible working. Whether it's remote work or hybrid work, well, make sure that you're in the right place to do it right. So it started before the pandemic, which I think is super crucial to say up front. It is a result of my personal passion, because I believe that the digital working era is something that we are part of right now, but our mindset and many companies are still stuck in the industrial working patterns. So things we used to do this certain way for such a long time just because. And now remoteworkadvocate.com is a place online where it's like both a consultancy but also a place for companies to be able to find information about things that they may consider when implementing in their businesses. Now, thanks to my articles, thanks to the videos that I share, materials, newsletters, everything that I publish regularly, and also for individuals very recently, because of the high demand and so many people asking me questions, how do I then find a remote job? Yes, they can also find responses to their questions in articles, videos, and now in my newest online course as well. So that's what it is. And it's out of my personal passion. I've lived this lifestyle for years now, since 2015. And I also have a degree in remote work law now in employment. So that's also something that I help companies to do. Intercultural communication as well, processes, procedures, taking care of it to make it a scalable business model, not just an emergency solution or an exception. Starting with people, well, this one now is, the course that they can access. It's called How to Find Your Remote Dream Job, everything in a nutshell. So, how to write a CV, how to look for companies that are hiring, not scams, how to go through an entire process. If someone wants to change their career and get to know, well, I've never done a remote job, but now who could I be working remotely? I don't know. So it's like a full assessment, what the opportunities are for you out there, and also how to go through the entire recruitment process when you're asked questions, how to respond to them, and also to understand what hiring option will be best for you, whether you want to be an employee or whether you want to be a contractor, to find out what the differences are. So this is for the people. For the companies, obviously, as I've said, it's flexible working arrangements from a legal perspective. So it's both contracts, now a very hot topic, misclassification, because companies hire, contractors just the same way, treat them just the same way as if they were employees. That obviously leads to issues. Workation policies, so short-term working abroad arrangements based on tax laws, social security, labor laws in certain countries, and also IT security and data security as well, and GDPR compliance in Europe. Remote working assessment, audits within a company, designing playbooks, processes, procedures, workshops, trainings. Goodness, there's so much. I feel like I could be speaking for hours. It's just because there's been so many things I did within the past few years, so it's all listed there, so Well, one of the challenges is that we have a problem with data, with a data-based approach in all companies, in fresh remote companies. I'm saying fresh remote companies because remote first companies that have been on the market for a long time, they know what they're doing and they are very explicit about it, and it's very intentional. Now, with new hybrid companies, it's this thing that they're trying to connect the old normal with the new normal, meaning, we have the office, that's the way we did things, but people want it differently. So we will allow remote working or working from home to be part of it because we are allowing it, right? We're not treating it as a scalable perspective, meaning that all our processes, the entire employee journey is designed this way that both on-site and remote workers and people who are occasionally in the office, they are all on the same page. They're treated equally. They have the same opportunities. We have automation, everything implemented. So that's like one of the biggest challenges. But I think the even biggest challenge ever is the mindset. And you see what I observe is again these remote first companies that have been there forever and companies that are now entering into flexible working. There's a clash. I feel like these are two completely different worlds. They talk about different challenges as well, and it's a process of change, so it definitely takes time. But yeah, issues such as in hybrid companies, proximity bias, that we as human beings tend to favor people who are next to us, close to us, right? And here suddenly, well, it's not there. Well, too many meetings, needless to say, that's still the situation. And basically how to engage people who are not in the office, that happens all the time. And one more thing probably is that remote working isn't about giving someone a laptop and saying, you can work from outside of the office. This is just one part of this entire approach that consequently will make it work. Going to be biased. How can I not be? Yes, I see. It's very right. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's going to be a struggle because, there are still companies that will say, come back to the office. And I mean, it's decision to do so, and whatever the reasons are, I don't care. But the most important thing that I believe and hope is going to be part of the future of work is the possibility to choose. So to choose consciously, right? For me, it's this way that very clearly, even when we look at the laws changing, especially in the EU, and making remote work part of their legal systems, also digital nomad visas being released all around the world. I mean, this is changing. This is something that was never taken into account years ago. And I mean, I always like this comparison of when electricity was first introduced, people were reluctant for 50 years because they said that candles were sufficient. Now we can't imagine to live without it. So in 50 years, I hope I'll still be alive to see how this beautiful revolution is really taking over the market. So that's my response. I mean, I know that people don't like the word audit, but it's very nice to take it into account, because you can't implement something if you don't know what you're implementing. You can't fix something if you don't know what's broken, right? So I would say it's very nice to get inspired by other companies, how they do it, but be careful, inspired, not to copy everything. Oh, this company, it has such a big brand, they did it this way, we'll do it the same way. No, we have different people on board, we have a different scenario, we may be in a different industry. What are our goals for the future? So I think every company should really do like a very tiny, at least very tiny, if not a big one, SWOT analysis to take a look at, okay, what are our opportunities? What are, the threats, the strengths, the weaknesses, to be able to see it, obviously involve the people in it, right? To also be in a position to say, oh, our competitors are up to this and that. If you really don't take these steps and, ensure a great employee experience, work on our EVP, everything all together, and also on our future business needs, then we may have a serious issue. And for individuals, I think there's tons of materials available on right now how to help ourselves. Because the problem that's happening is that we suddenly, everyone as human beings, people, suddenly got the opportunity to have flexibility, but we don't know how to manage this flexibility, Suddenly it's up to us to start our day, finish our day, take care of boundaries, prioritize better. No one tells us what to do, but it's on us right now. So in the first moment, you have this excitement and fun. Yes, I'm free, I can do whatever I want. But then with time, we start being a bit overwhelmed with everything that's happening around. So read, watch, ask others, join remote communities. There's a great one to join, by the way, I'm part of it, the Remote First Institute, powered by Remote How. Tons of materials, great individuals from all around the world sharing so much expertise. Highly recommended. Think out of the box. Maybe that's a bit cliche, but I think that you only grow if you challenge yourself and if you get inspired by others. So if anyone is still believing that remote work is just a temporary trend, they're very much mistaken. And it's just a matter of time. So before you express your concerns, take a deeper look at the entire surrounding, and then be ready for a conversation. And hopefully you change your mind, because remote work is the future.